Welcome everybody. This is Salim Ansari here. I am trying to walk you through the Khidmaat customer application for the mobile and basically trying to tell you what the customer is going to see regarding the customer services that we have. And I'll start with clicking on the Khidmaat icon here. As you see, the first screen I see is the splash screen, and then I'm directed to the sign up. The sign up is there. You click on the sign up, you go to a registration page, which basically gives you the option of registering your phone number into the Khidmaat application. In this case, I am registering an Indian number, which is being used by Afroz Bhai here, so that we can run through the whole process with it. And so this is the number that is there. I have registered, and now Afroz Bhai will receive the OTP from that. Afroz Bhai.
दोबारा 5908
5908 is the OTP that is received. We continue with that, and it tells me that the OTP has been recognized and that you have successfully been registered. Now when I go, now I'm directed to the profiles page. Now there are two options of this: is either I fill in the profile right away or I skip it for the moment and then we'll come. So I'm this thing of skipping it. I'm looking for an option of skipping it now and see what happens. So as soon as I skip, I come to the home page. Now the home page has three components. One is the sliding display as you see it. The area can be used by the back end of the application or by a third party to advertise their items, or by the Khidmaat itself to give them new offers or discount schemes, whatever. And the second portion is the main screen, which gives the icons of the services that are offered by Khidmaat. In this case, there are 4 services that you see, but this is again something that is going to change. As the services increase, this area is going to be a scroll up area where more and more services can be added. And the third part of this is the bottom menu bar, where there are items which are in addition to the services. We'll go through it later on. Now I'm trying to see, yes, so there's one part of the thing I would like to see, because we are a new user here and we are using the application for the first time, so there should be nothing under my services, or there should be no data for me in the data bank. So one thing that you see is 2-3 things. There are no in my services, as you see, there is nothing here, neither in pending nor in ongoing nor in completed, or similarly notifications, it's a blank and we don't see it. In case of accounts, we have profile, which basically means that profile is empty. Contact us, as we see, is a data that is going to be given by the Khidmaat principals to us later, and we have an option of logging out. So these things we will come back to it after we have gone through one cycle, so that you will see some changes here. We go back to the home page, and I'm trying to show you that the cycle of our application is that we start with services, then we have what is known as sub-services. In this case, I have chosen the commercial worker. In commercial worker, there are 2 sub-services that we talk about: cleaner and a babysitter. We click on, say, a babysitter. As soon as we click on a babysitter, we have a pop-up saying that please update your profile before directing it to service form. What it basically means is that unless your profile is updated properly, you will not be able to raise any service requests. So we say, okay, continue, and we come to the profile page. Remember, we saw that profile page, we had skipped it, now we are back on the same profile page. I am updating the profile now. I take a photo, I save it, and I put it here. Now this is a photo of a fan, this is just for example. And now I have to fill in all the details. Full name, I am saying abstract, or what, let me say APPS. Okay, the other portion is what we wanted to see is that if we don't fill in any form, any of the fields, what happens? In this case, I tried to save without filling in the fields, and the field border was red, and the cursor told me that it had to be filled in. So now here is what I am sending. I am saying abstract test user, right? This is just to give us an idea of what it means. Now, if I want to go to this, the date of birth, I go to any date of birth. This is just a sample, and the email ID. This is the email ID which is going to be used by the application to contact me for anything. The first email that you will receive would be once you submit a valid application for a service request, and then you should be receiving an email on the ID given below. So I'm giving this Afroz's ID here, Afroz 44 at gmail.com.
Already it will list automatically, no? It will automatically show there.
No.
And you type of rows.
No.
Oh, not sure.
And here I write the address, the home address. Now, this is again a default address that is going to be used by the application for any services that you use. So I'm going to use Afroz Bhai's address, Al Rayyan something, Al Rayyan Qatar, this thing, and I save it. So now I have filled in my application, I have filled in my profile, and here you see it is reflected in the form, in the request form, in the sense that if you look at, as we go down, you will see it. Now let me fill in the details. Say it is for say 22nd. Then what is the start time? Time, if you want, say 3:30, 15:30. This is the start of the time. Then start of the service, number of hours. Now what we know that for commercial workers, the only duration that the commercial worker can be hired is between 4 to 12. So in case we are saying that it is 4 to 12, just a minute. So here it is, say I am saying 10 hours. So 10 hours, a number of resources we can have up to 10 resources. I am saying I am 8 resources. This is a commercial worker, there is a party, you need to use him, and hence. Now the nationality of the user is also very important. There can be a host of nationalities that can be done. And in this case, let us go to say Sri Lankan. So this is the detail that we have. Now look here in the work location, it is by default Al Rayyan, Qatar. Now this all these fields are editable. So you can change it to anything else you want. In case your person is not Al Rayan, he's say Qatar National Library or something, you can change that. Also, by this thing is the username also. The contact name again has come from profile, and it is abstract test user. Now you don't want him to be the user, you feel that the contact person is maybe someone else, maybe Afroz. So here you come there, then your contact number. Contact number, if you don't give any contact number here, no problems. Otherwise, you will have to give an alternate contact number, which is maybe Afroz wise 55
64
64
1682.
1682. ठीक?
I need to set that.
55. Okay. Now here, Afroz Bhai's email ID again has been taken from profile, and it is here. And description also, it is a optional field. You see all the fields that are in star are mandatory. In this case,
Yeah, this one.
in the description you can have anything saying that they need to be neat. Just anything we can say. And now you have an option of saving it. Once you save it, you come to a screen which is basically a preview of your request plus some more information. So as you see, the preview of the request is the first part of the form, and in the last 4 or 5 lines you have what is known as the estimate. So what we have said is, depending on what your request was, you wanted the Sri Lankan worker for 10 days and you wanted 8 of them to be there. So the total cost, as you see it here, is there. This is all a sample. I want to make it very clear that all these fields, all the numbers that you see are samples and can be changed from the admin console without changing any code. So if you want to make any changes in any forms, please fill in the template that is given by Afroz, and he will tell you also how to fill that in, and once we get that, we will make the changes accordingly very easily here. Thank you. So now what we say is, okay, you've seen, now you find that, okay, this cost is too high or something you want to change. So instead of submit, you go back and say cancel. Again, you are directed back to the main form. In the form where maybe you want to change the nationality of the agent that, or the people that are going to serve you. So maybe it is a Bangladeshi. In this case, it is Bangladeshi. And I say okay. Or maybe Philippines. Whatever we have, we can do that. And now we save it. Again, we are moved to the preview, and now you see the numbers, you are happy with it, and you say now, okay, now I'm ready to submit. As soon as you click submit, now the request form that you have filled in is now ready to be submitted to the backend, and you will see it is submitted, and you get a email at the end of it. You will look at your email ID, that the one that is mentioned in the profile. You will get an email confirmation of your request, and you are directed to the status page. The status page shows you here scheduled. Here, because actually there is submitted and then scheduled, which is after payment, but for our testing we've done put that submitted to scheduled for the flow. And the other three processes or the 3 phases are either it is submitted, scheduled, in progress, confirmed or completed, confirmed as completed, or incomplete. All these things, all the other phases will be discussed in the phase 2 of our prototype 2 of our project. As of now, we are showing only submitted. Coming to this, after this, when we click next, we are directed to the home page again. That means your application or the service request has been successfully submitted, and the backend is working with the service providers to give you a response with the best possible option for you, and then we go forwards. In the meantime, this happens on a non-real time basis. The response will come to the customer within 2.5 hours of his request. So nothing is going to happen immediately. You will get a notification within 2.5 hours with the details of the service providers offer, saying that okay, he's ready to do it, and the details of the agent. We'll talk about it in the prototype 2. Now coming to the bottom menu bar, which we had left out last time, or which we had rather visited last time. Now you'll see some changes. If I look at payment, is not done yet. My services, if you look at it, ongoing, there's nothing. Then pending, you see, the one that we have said, pending one is sister babysitter, and the details of this are there, so you know that your request is in this state, and what is the details of that in terms of the worker, in terms of the booking order, and all those details. And the second thing is, you will also get a notification saying that commercial worker service, this thing has been submitted for approval on this date. Now this notification basically tells you that you should look at your email, which gives you the details of this service request that you have seen. Coming to the last of the options, which is account, where you go to a place where now, remember the first time when we went to this page, we saw the first one was profile. Now, because we have the name of the owner of the application, which is abstract test user, and his photo, so you see it here, you click on this and you come to the profile. The profile of the owner of this application here. And then you have the other things, which is contact us. Contact us basically are the details that Khidmaat owner has to give us in terms of what mobile number or what website he wants us to contact them on, or the email ID. We are waiting on that. And about us is also some details regarding the owner of Khidmaat, which has to come from there. At the moment, these are left blank from our side. The other option what we can do is also if you don't do anything, if you come out of the application, nothing happens, you are logged in and you will come to the home screen without any problems. If you want to log out, for some reason you are changing your mobile or you're changing something, you want to log out, then there's an option of logging out. Once you log out, before logging out, they're going to ask you, okay, are you sure you want to log out? If you say yes, what if you say no? If you want to say no, then you will be, and you want to close this application. So you can exit it in multiple ways. Either using the Android button, and you say, okay, I want to exit the application, you say yes, and it is exited. Now when you log in again, you log into the home page. The other option is that I don't want to log in the home page. I want to log out of the application. I don't want to use it now. I'm giving my mobile to someone else. So here it is, you log out and you say yes. So now you are directed to the sign up page. Basically that means that if any other registered user wants to use your application, he can use it using his phone number and the OTP that he gets on his phone number. So this is an option that we have. Whether we want to continue with it or not is something that we leave it to you to decide.
Recorded. Okay. Off.